We spend about a third of our entire lives doing it. But what if I told you that shutting down for the night is actually one of the most active and important things your brain does all day? Tonight, we're going to take a journey into the hidden world of sleep, from the tiny clock inside you that runs the whole show to the wild theater of your dreams. I mean, it's easy to think of sleep as just, well, being not awake. But it is so much more than that. It's this incredibly dynamic state with its own rules, its own distinct stages, and a really profound purpose. So let's pull back the curtain and explore this nightly mystery, starting with the one thing that tells your body it's time to rest in the first place. So, what is it that tells your body it's time to sleep? It's not just about the sun going down, you know. Our first stop on this journey is inside you, at the master controller of your daily life, your body's own internal clock. And that clock is called your circadian rhythm. Just think of it like a 24-hour internal scheduler that's been running inside our species for thousands and thousands of years. It's the reason you feel that little jolt of energy in the morning and that gentle, undeniable pull towards your pillow at night. It's this powerful, ancient cycle that really dictates our daily lives. And get this, it's not just about sleep. This internal clock is also the reason you start getting hungry around the same time every day. It even controls the subtle rise and fall of your body temperature. It's like the master conductor of your body's orchestra, keeping everything perfectly in sync with the rhythm of the day. Okay, so once your internal clock signals that it's bedtime, the real adventure begins. See, we don't just fall asleep in one big drop. We actually descend level by level through a series of really distinct stages, and each one has its own unique purpose and its own signature brain activity. But you might be wondering, how on earth do we even know this? For the longest time, what happened after we closed our eyes was a total mystery. And then came the EEG, a tool that lets scientists basically eavesdrop on the electrical chatter in our brains, giving us this amazingly detailed roadmap of our nightly journey. Now this is what I think is so cool. You can literally see the brain powering down. Look at those waves for being awake. They're fast, kind of frantic, right? Now compare that to the deep sleep waves at the bottom. They're slow, deep, really rhythmic. It's a perfect picture of our brain descending into deep, restorative sleep. And here's the thing, it's not a one-way trip. This chart of a typical night's sleep shows that we're constantly cycling through these stages. We go down into deep sleep, then we come back up. And those really crucial periods of REM sleep, that's the orange part here, they actually get longer and more frequent as the night goes on. We've all been there, right? That moment when you're just dozing off and suddenly you feel like you're falling and your whole body just jerks you awake. Well, that's a hypnagogic sensation, and it's a classic sign that you are entering the very first, lightest stage of sleep. All right, now let's talk about the most mysterious and honestly the most fascinating part of the night, REM sleep. This stage is a total paradox. It's a state of mind-bending contradictions that scientists are, to this day, still trying to fully wrap their heads around. So here's the paradox. During REM sleep, your brain is on fire. An EEG shows brain waves that look almost identical to when you're wide awake and totally alert. But, and this is the wild part, at the exact same time, your body is completely still. Your muscles are essentially paralyzed. It's literally an active mind trapped inside a sleeping body. And where does that super active brain take us? Well, it takes us into our dreams. This is the stage where we experience those incredibly vivid, sometimes bizarre, and totally story-like dreams that we might remember when we wake up. Which, of course, brings us to one of the biggest, most profound questions in all of science. Why do we dream? I mean, what is the purpose of these strange nightly hallucinations that can feel so incredibly real? Think about this for a second. Your brain, while you are completely unconscious, can build entire universes. It can make you fly, it can introduce you to people you've never met, it can create entire worlds out of thin air. It feels almost magical, but science actually has a few pretty compelling theories about the practical purpose behind it all. So first up, there's the activation synthesis theory. This one suggests that dreams are simply your brain trying to make a coherent story out of random electrical signals firing off. Then you've got the consolidation theory, which is this idea that dreaming is like mental housekeeping. Your brain is sorting through the day's memories, deciding what to keep and what to toss. And finally, there's the restorative theory, which proposes that dreaming is kind of like a workout for your brain, helping to keep all your neural pathways strong and healthy. This entire nightly cycle we've been talking about is this beautifully, finely tuned biological process. But what happens when that process gets thrown off track?
Well, that's when sleep disorders can start to creep in.
And we're not just talking about a minor inconvenience here. A disruption to your sleep journey doesn't just stay in the night. It has serious, real-world consequences for how you think, how you feel, and how you function the entire next day.
So here's a quick look at some of the most common ways this journey can get disrupted. A lot of us are familiar with insomnia, that awful, frustrating inability to fall or stay asleep. But then there are more dramatic disorders like sleep apnea, where a person can actually stop breathing hundreds of times a night. Or REM sleep behavior disorder, where that muscle paralysis of REM sleep fails and people physically act out their dreams, which can sometimes have dangerous consequences.
But here is the crucial takeaway, the really hopeful part. For many people, these conditions are treatable. Understanding your own sleep and taking steps to protect it, like just keeping a regular schedule, isn't only about feeling less tired. It can have a massive, positive impact on every single aspect of your waking life and your long-term health. So, from our ancient internal clocks to the wild paradox of our dreams, the world of sleep is every bit as complex and vital as our waking life. Understanding this journey isn't just a fun little scientific exploration. It's honestly one of the most important things you can do for your health. So tonight, when you close your eyes, just remember the incredible journey you're about to begin.